there are 3 levels of goals. All 3 of these you want. If you have all 3, not only will you be really clear on who you are and where you're going, you'll have peace of mind. It'll honestly slow time down and make you feel like you've got a lot of clarity, but also it'll give you a lot of productivity. So the highest level is the why, the second level is the what, the third level is the how. Let me explain. Why goals could be in the form of your purpose. So Stephen Kotler and Peter Diamandis, they talk about having a massively transformative purpose. This could be a sense of calling, mission, purpose. I would challenge you to have no more than 3, but you could have 3 aligning purposes. What psychologists call harmonious passion means that you've got multiple goals or multiple aspects of your life, but they all harmoniously help each other. They're all pointing in the same direction. They all support each other. So you could have 3 why, big purposes. This is your North Star. So it could be to, heal the world of addiction, as my friend Joe Polish is. It could be whatever you want. It could be just to help animals, or it could be to help people learn about God. It could be just, it could be to help yourself reach a certain level. Purpose goals, though, are different from passion because purpose usually takes you out of yourself and out into the world where you have a cause and you're helping someone else usually. I would challenge you to have no more than 3, 1 to 3 major purposeful goals. And why I like the idea of massively transformative purposes is that by pursuing it, your life transforms and you transform over time as a result. The second level is the what, which is what psychologists would call high, hard goals. The research shows that really high, really challenging and hard goals are way more motivating, exciting, and interesting than low goals. And these high, hard goals are not things you can accomplish in a weekend. They're things that may take several months or several years to accomplish. These could be things like getting a college degree, a PhD. It could be writing a book. It could be qualifying for the Boston Marathon. It could be building a business and selling it. You get to determine the high, hard goal. But one of the reasons why you want high, hard goals is obviously as you get better and better at accomplishing high, hard goals, through that process of getting up there and achieving something big, you now have new levels of confidence. You've created a new trajectory. You've created a new situation. But also, having further out goals is really powerful. Having goals that are further out allows you to run your own race. It allows you to have more power versus force. If you're constantly trying to force really short-term outcomes rather than having a nice, long trajectory, then you're going to probably avoid the deep learning of the process. One of the things that Kobe Bryant said when he was young is, his first year playing basketball, he was horrible, but then he really committed to the long-term goal of becoming really good, and that allowed him to fall in love with the process. It allowed him also to get more creative and courageous because he was playing a longer game. Like, it was okay if he missed this game or failed or missed that shot or failed this game or even failed this season because he was playing a really long game. And so you want far out goals. You want high, hard goals, challenging goals. I would even challenge you to have goals that are big enough that they may take 3, 5, or 10 years to accomplish. I recently thought about where I want to be in 2030, which is in like 8.5 years from now, because I believe that that's when my wife and I are going to be moving from where we live, which is in Florida. It's just a really good timeline. That's when our youngest that we adopted, so we adopted 3 kids, and then we have 3 other kids. But the youngest one that we adopted is 9, and I believe he'll be going out when he's 18, whether that be college, serving a church mission, or something else. And so we've got until 2030. And so that allowed me to think, okay, I've got a lot of time. I can set some serious high, hard goals. And the nice part about having far out goals is it slows time down. It removes anxiety. It allows you to not feel rushed. You have this huge vision. There's a great quote that says, "Good timber does not grow with ease. The stronger wind, the stronger trees, the further sky, the greater length, the more the storm, the more the strength, by sun and cold, by rain and snow, in trees and men, good timbers grow." But the part that's really cool, obviously that whole poem is cool, that's by Douglas Malloch, but the further sky, the greater length. The further out you can project, the slower your time goes. From a time relativity standpoint, the further you go and the faster you go, the slower time passes. And so having a far out vision slows time down. It removes anxiety. It allows you to think what you really want. One of the things that Dan Sullivan, the co-founder of Strategic Coach, says is if you have like 10, 15, 20 years to do something, almost anything becomes possible. You could create 10x, 100x, whatever you're currently doing if you've got enough time. There's no unrealistic goals, there's only unrealistic timelines. So having high, hard goals that are big, really powerful, really challenging. I, for example, have a goal of eventually selling 10 million books. But that might take me a decade. It might take me until 2030 when my son's moving out. But that's okay. Because I have 8 years to do it, I can really just engage in a beautiful process. I can enjoy my life here and now. I don't have to be always wanting to be there, but I can enjoy being here because I know I'm walking on this amazing path. So the third level of goals is what are called specific goals. These are more your hows. So for example, if I want to sell 10 million books, or if I want 1 million subscribers on YouTube, and these are just my own goals, my specific goal for today may be to write 500 words or to film 2 YouTube videos. Specific goals are things you can accomplish right now. You can actually get them done like today or this week. So specific goals are like things on your daily to-do list. I would challenge you to have no more than 3 items on a daily basis that are specific goals. Those should be focused on impact, not based on busyness. You got to look at your vision of your future self, your high-level purpose, and even your high, hard goals, which are out there, and you got to ask yourself, what is the most effective, powerful thing I can do right now that would help me achieve that? Another way of getting to a specific goal is asking yourself, when you look at your high, hard goal, in my case, it could be selling 10 million books. In your case, it may be getting into the Boston Marathon or starting a business. When you clarify the outcome that you want, one of the most powerful ideas I've heard is called minimum effective dose. I first learned this from Tim Ferriss in his book, The 4-Hour Body. It's actually a concept in pharmacy. So minimum effective dose means what's the minimum dosage for something to get the desired result. In the case of medicine, what's the minimum effective, dosage to get a result for the person? The opposite is called maximum effective dose. What's the maximum dosage of something in order, then it stops being effective? So what's cool about minimum effective dose is you ask yourself the question, what is the minimum requirement to get the desired result I want? When it comes to, for example, boiling water, water boils at 212 degrees. That's the minimum dosage for boiling water. Anything above that's wasteful. So if you're up at 250 degrees, you're just wasting energy. You could have gotten the same result somewhere down here. So once you've clarified your high hard goal, your specific goal, an amazing question could be, what's the minimum effective dose to achieving that? What's the minimum requirement to getting that outcome? And then that can give you clarity for specific high value, high caliber, specific goals that you can then set to getting there. One of the reasons why I like this model of having all 3 of these is that your high hard goals allow you to fall in love with the process. They allow you to slow time down. They allow you to really enjoy the present moment because you're here and now. You're in this moment. You're appreciating this moment. As an example for me, I know I've got probably 8 years, barring any unforeseen event, living here in Orlando, Florida. That means I can just fully enjoy this. I can fully enjoy writing those books, doing what I'm doing, raising my kids, taking them to tennis lessons and things like that. And the chapter's got some length. It's also got some depth. That's how you can be like the tortoise, for example. You got the tortoise and the hare. The tortoise is the slow compounding effect of just engaging in the process, playing the long game, not overly trying to just rush it. And so you can engage in high hard goals that are really powerful, big. They allow you to play your own game. They allow you to enjoy where you're at. They allow you to just engage in the process. They create huge compounding effects if you be consistent. But why I like the specific goals, and also maybe more short-term targets, like weekly targets, monthly targets, where you've got shorter-term timelines and you're focused on high impact, is that then you can have sprints. You still want to have sprints. You don't want to just be in slow motion. You do want to have short-term intense objectives that push you way outside your comfort zone, but they're more specific. And so then you can also be the hare. You can ask yourself, what's the most bold, courageous thing I can do right now to get to my future self? Or what's a quantum leap I can make? Or what's a wormhole I can create? Or who's someone I can reach out to that if I create this connection or if I create this outcome, then I'll immediately be where I'm at. Maybe if your high hard goal is right now 10 years away, but you're able to create some sprint, you might be able to cut that time in half. So you can be the tortoise and the hare. You can have this nice peaceful, present, compounding effect of just being consistent towards your bigger term future self, while at the same time having shorter term specific targets that are 80-20, meaning they're focused on outcome, they're focused on effectiveness, they're not just you being busy. And you can take bold, courageous, short-term actions towards your future self with the security net of your long-term goals. That's one of the things that Kobe Bryant found, is that once he got committed to the big game, the long game, it actually gave him permission to be more courageous in the short term because he wasn't forcing things anymore. He could be courageous. He could fail. He could risk things because he was playing a longer game. It wasn't do or die in that moment. It was like, yeah, if you fail, it's okay because you've got tomorrow and you've got next week, next year. Like you're committed to this in the long run. You've got really high, hard goals, and your specific goals can be far more courageous based, far more creative based, far more outcome based. So I love those 3 levels of goals. Kind of to break it down more simply, I would challenge you to have no more than 3 high-level why purposes. You define what are the 3 organizing principles for my life, or what are the 3 things that I care about more than anything else. And then from there, what are some high, hard goals that I could pursue that would help, would allow me to live out that purpose, but would also get me to a place in my life and in my trajectory that would be super exciting and would be a process that I would love going through, that maybe over the next 3, 5, 10 years, if I continue and be consistent with that, like everything could be on a totally fundamentally different level. And then from there, your short-term goals, I would challenge you to have no more than 3 on a daily basis. Have no more than even 3 on a weekly basis. What are your big 3 for the week? What are the 3 outcomes that, if accomplished, would make massive exponential progress towards your big goals? I like the idea of having the slow, peaceful, mindful consistency of the tortoise while having the short-term, you can be courageous, you can take risks, you can be bold because you have the security blanket that you do have a long-term vision. And you're going to stay at it whether you win or lose, whether you hit or don't hit on like maybe your short-term courage bursts. You're still just moving forward and you're playing the long game. You're committed to the long game. You're secure in yourself. You're running your own race. So those are the 3 levels of goals. Hope that helps. My name is Dr. Benjamin Hardy. Click this video and you can watch another video to help you become your desired future self. Please like this video. Please push the thumbs up button. It really helps my channel. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed. And also down below is a link to a peak state checklist. You can put in your email, get a free peak state checklist. Over 800,000 people have downloaded this, and it will show you how to get into a peak state every morning. Have an amazing day. See you.